Okay, hi, how you doing? It's Carl again, one of your performance and wellbeing team. Today's webinar, or this week's webinar, is going to be about becoming more effective. So basically using your time management to become efficient, and not only efficient, to become effective as well. Next slide. So the areas I'm going to cover then is a little bit of an introduction about time management and how it works using prioritization. And then from there, I'm going to talk about the 4 quadrants of time management, and then my 15-minute day, which is like my time planning activity that I use myself personally and that you could use yourselves. And then right at the end, there'll be a few key takeaways, just a few points for you to take away, just to remember, if you remember nothing else. Okay, next. So then time management is a process, planning and controlling how much time you spend on specific activities and tasks. Good time management enables an individual to complete more in a shorter time period, and it lowers stress and leads to overall success. And like it says there, it's not just about being efficient, it's about being effectively efficient. I'm pretty sure you know a lot of people that think they're quite efficient. When it comes to it, they could still make themselves be more effective. Next slide. So before we can do any sort of planning or time management itself, you need to understand how prioritizing works. And for that, we're going to talk about the 4 quadrants of time management. But basically, things will be urgent or important, and they're the 2 categories of prioritizing. Next slide. So then, for example, answering the phone is urgent, because if you don't answer the phone, it'll ring off and you miss the call. However, that being said, it could be very important, or it could be non-important. So it's definitely urgent because it needs to be done straight away, but depending on who's on the end of the phone, it could either be important or non-important. Going to the dentist regularly then is something that is important, but it's not necessarily urgent unless you leave it too long, and then obviously it will become urgent. Next slide. So, so picking up your children from school is an urgent and important task. I think we can all understand that. That's one of those jobs that needs to be done now, and it's important that it is done, so it's urgent and important. And then reading funny emails, checking Facebook, going on Instagram, and all those sorts of things, and probably neither urgent or important. So that's another task. So let's go into the 4 quadrants of time management then, please. So the 4 quadrants broken down into A, S, D, and E, which I will speak to you about in a minute. But they're basically high in urgency and high in importance, which is A. They're low urgency, high importance, which is S. Low importance and high urgency, which is D, and then low urgency and low importance, which is E. So there's your 4 quadrants, and I'll just break them down for you now. Next slide. So A stands for action. These are tasks that are of high importance and high urgency. So like we spoke about in the previous example, which was picking your kids up from school. And these need to be completed as soon as possible, and they should be completed by yourself. So that's A for action. Next slide, please. So S stands for schedule. Any tasks in this category of low urgency, so they don't need to be done right away, but they're of high importance, which means that you personally need to complete them. So for these, the S stands for schedule. So this is tasks that you will then put into a list or into your Gantt chart that I know we spoke about in the last huddle and webinar, the one before. So that would be then things you schedule. So they're low urgency but high importance, which means you need to complete them personally. Next. So D stands for delegate. So these are of high urgency but low importance. So these are the tasks that don't necessarily need to be done by you, but they do need to be done now. So always try to delegate any tasks that are of low importance personally to yourself. But if they need to be done, you're better off giving them to someone else to get them done. That's the best way to deal with those sorts of tasks, to delegate them. Next slide. So the next task then, which is E. So E stands for eliminate. These are tasks which we spoke about, low urgency and low importance. They're tasks that you don't really need to be doing. They're the tasks that will get in the way, or things that will get in the way of you doing what it is that you're meant to be doing. So procrastination, basically, checking Instagram, going on Facebook, all these sorts of things that do take up a lot of your time, watching Netflix, things that will take up your time in the day without you realizing. So just to go quickly back over the 4 quadrants, then you've got A, which is action. So they're tasks that need to be done straight away, right now. So they're high urgency and high importance. You've then got S, which is for schedule. So use your Gantt chart, whatever form of list or your own organizational planning tool, because they will be tasks of low urgency but of high importance. You've then got D, which are tasks that you delegate. They're of high urgency, so they need to be done now, but they're not very important to you, so therefore you can delegate them to someone else. And then you've got E, which is eliminate, the one that's on the screen, and they are for low urgency and low importance tasks. Next slide. So remember, the most powerful word in time management is no. So eliminating tasks that are of low urgency and low importance can sometimes be as simple as saying the word no. I'm pretty sure that a lot of us have taken on tasks that are of that category E in the past. You've thought about it, or someone's said to you, "Oh, can you do this for me?" A simple no will give you so much more time back for your own tasks. And also remember, can we go back? So also remember then that someone else's poor planning or their poor time management of their own task does not constitute an emergency on yours. A lot of people will say, "Oh, it's an emergency, I need this doing now," when not necessarily it is an emergency, or it didn't have to be an emergency. It's just where they've not planned. So once you've got yourself sewn up with your time management from this, you can start helping others with theirs. Next. So then, this is a 15-minute day. This is my planning tool that I use to organize my day. So it's not necessarily individual broken down tasks within my work, but within my day. When we met at the boot camp, I gave everyone a resources pack. In that resources pack, there was this 15-minute day, which you can all see if you've still got them, or if they've not, they'll be sent out. And in there was a blank one for you to fill out yourself. So how it works, every small box in the on the chart is a 15-minute gap, and then each one of them is an hour, and you can see they're broken down into hour windows all the way through for your 24-hour day. Each one of those is a 15-minute schedule, and from there you can see like my sleep patterns there. This is just an average day for me. Obviously not now, we're in lockdown, but before this, this was my average day. So I slept, I'd get up, admin, so that's like getting up, brushing my teeth, sorting myself out, doing that. Travel to the gym, which was a 30-minute journey. I'd spend 2 hours training. I'd then be my 30-minute home, have breakfast, more admin, so shower, change, get ready for work, and go to work. My work day then, as you can see there, all the way through is my work. Then I finish, I travel, I get changed back into my gym clothes, go back, gym. As you can see, I don't need to explain it. You can see what's there. What I'd like you to do for from now until the huddle, which is next week, is to take your blank 15-minute day, or make your own 15-minute day, and just fill out and start writing down all the things that you do within your day. So the first thing I want you to do when you do this is to write a list of all the things that you think it is that you're doing now. So watching TV, going on Instagram, eating, sleeping, your admin, like washing yourself, getting changed, all those sorts of things, housework, if you're doing housework, if you live by yourself, things that you're doing every day. Write a big long list, and then start looking at that list and start putting them into the 4 quadrants that we spoke about. So A for action, things you need to do straight away. Your scheduled tasks, things you can schedule. Your D tasks, things that you can delegate, and things that you can eliminate. When I first did my planning for my 15-minute day, I wrote my list, I scheduled them out into my 4 quadrants, and I realized there was quite a lot of tasks there that I could eliminate. Things like going on Facebook, Instagram, watching TV, and if it wasn't scheduled, it was sort of like you just do it, dipping in and out. So I crossed them all off. eliminated all of them, looked at tasks on there that I was doing that I could probably delegate, little simple things, and got rid of them. And I managed to consolidate my day, which enabled me to get myself into this nice routine. Now, I understand that for some of you, routine's not going to be ideal because you're working shifts and your patterns will change, and you might be doing a night one week and then days the next. Or so, what I just want you to do for this task is just to do a average 15-minute window day as you see it now. But the main idea of this is for you to go through and start looking at your daily tasks and put them into the 4 quadrants, so you can work out what it is that you do have time to eliminate, and therefore sacrifice some things to get more stuff in, like training. Can I go to the next slide? Okay, so the key takeaways then, start off your day with clear focus. I wake up every day at the same time. Even now, I'm still getting up early and I'm still focused on my tasks in hand. I know what it is that I need to do. I've got a 15-minute day planner. I know all the jobs that I need to do. When it comes to your task list for the day, so if you're talking like work day, for me, when I go to work, I've got another plan at work. Make sure that list and task list is dynamic. Things will change, stuff will come in, stuff will go out. Don't set it in stone so you can't have the focus, the ability to move it around. Focus on high value activities, which is where you'll learn all of that from going through your list and putting them into the 4 quadrants. Obviously, scrolling aimlessly through Instagram or Facebook is not a high value activity. Minimize interruptions. So if you are doing training or you're trying to do some work or whatever it may be, try and like get yourself in an environment where you can focus and you can basically limit and minimize all your interruptions that you may have. So if you're in a busy room in the house at the minute where there's people in and out all the time, that's going to cause you interruptions and distractions. Stop procrastinating. I think I've covered that enough. The Instagram, the Facebook, quick watching Netflix, going on YouTube, all these little things that you just dip in and out of that take up so much more of your time. This one's probably a little bit controversial because people think this is a great skill, and that's to limit multitasking. My view on multitasking, that's not a real thing. All you do when you multitask is do lots of jobs poorly. If you schedule them all into your day and you don't have to do 2 things at once, it'll enable you to complete a task a lot better in a timely manner and to the best of your ability, because you'll be giving it 100% of your attention. So limit the amount of multitasking you're doing, and it'll definitely aid you in completing getting high value activities out. And then review your day. So at the end of the day, have a quick look at what it is you have achieved, what you didn't achieve on your list. Go through your tasks, work out what it is. Some of those tasks that were a scheduled task, so they were an S, they were of low urgency, of high importance. They may now be an A. They may need to be next day, need to be action because the timeline's moved on and you've had to jump that up into the action category. So make sure you review your day. Next slide. Thanks very much. That's literally it for this. I've rattled through that quite quick, but I think that's probably the best way to go. I don't need to harp on about it too much. It's quite a simple method. Yeah, that is really it from me. I've got nothing else left. Just make sure that you get a 15-minute day plan done and you schedule all your activities ready for your squad huddles, because your performance and wellbeing team will be catching up, asking sort of things you've skipped, eradicated, eliminated, things that you've scheduled, and things that you thought that you could delegate. Thanks very much for your time for this, and I will see you again in the next webinar. Thank you very much.